Good afternoon to you and welcome to K24 Newscut. My name is Shiksha Arora, joined by our sign language interpreter who is Walter Asewa, and of course we'll be taking you through the top stories of the day. And of course today is day 2 of the Precious Talent School tragedy that took the lives of 8 students and of course got 64 injured. And right now we've got our reporter Dennis Matara on standby as he takes us through what exactly is happening in Dagoretti, and of course he will be giving us the latest from his end. Good afternoon to you, Dennis Matara. What is happening from the school right now?
Shiksha, yes, what exactly is happening right now is that there has been all along DCI detectives, forensic experts who are actually combing through that area, trying to collect information, trying to collect evidence just to ensure that everything is clear. Of course, what exactly they are collecting is evidence that will link maybe whatever charges that they will be preferring to whoever, maybe if it is the owner or if it is the person who was in charge of the construction. But currently the meeting has just ended of teachers and the management. Since morning they have been holed up in a meeting just trying to piece together, of course, taking stock of what happened, trying to get to terms exactly for the loss of 8 students from this school. And we understand that one of the students who was class 8 was one of their top candidates who they said that was their index 1 in the forthcoming KCPE examination. So it is a sad moment, and while they are in that meeting, of course, they held prayers before they had that meeting, and through that time, of course, we are expecting that maybe one of them will be able to speak to us. But earlier morning we spoke to one of the teachers who told us that they took time to take a vigil in this area throughout the night, and of course lit bonfires just to stay together with some of the parents who were willing to stay here. And during that time they were trying to speak to the parents who were of course saddened by the events, and some of them those who had lost their children in this incident. And during that time, of course, they had to take a record of all the students that were in school that particular time. Remember, every morning there is a register that is taken by the teachers. So they were checking the register against the students who were taken to hospital, and of course those who died, and trying to ensure maybe those who were missing. But we can confirm that the teachers say that there is no student who is missing. They have accounted for everyone, ensuring that those who went to hospital, they've actually been released. And of course, this, if it were a class, or rather a normal school day, this area will be a flurry of activity. Time, probably this playground will be filled up with the students who are playing and passing time for their next lesson. But right now everything is calm, everything is quiet, because the school has been closed for the next 4 days, that is today and the rest of the 3 days, as investigators come through the area collecting information, and before a final decision will be made. And then at the same time, of course, we spoke yesterday, that is the information that we have from Professor George Magoha, who said that they will take time, of course, to construct a new school in this area, because we understand that this area does not have a public school nearby. There are, yes, private schools, but the area residents demanded that they need a school. And of course, with the Deputy President and George Magoha, the Education CS promised that within the next 3 months there will be a new school in this area. But of course that is something that will yet to confirm where exactly that school will be built, because the nearby public school that is around here is Lenana, and they're saying that that school has bigger land that will be taken over for another school to be built, just to cater for the residents and the children from this area. Remember, this school had, or rather has, 800 students, and it is duly registered, and it has had several KCPE examinations, which parents say that it has been performing very well, and they are hoping that this school will be rebuilt again and actually be reopened for the sake of their children, because they feel that this is their home and they want the school to be back. So we'll be giving you more details once we get the report, probably from the forensic experts, once it is compiled, and even from the school management, what is the way forward that is going to happen for the learners. I take you back to studio, Shiksha.
Thank you very much, Dennis Matara, for that update from Dagoretti, that is Precious Talent School. And of course, we are still following that story, and there has been a development where the owners of the Precious Talent School building have been taken to Kabete Police Station for further questioning. And right now, we've got our reporter, Gloria Milimo, on standby as she brings us up to speed with the latest from her end with regards to what exactly is happening at Kabete Police Station. Gloria.
Well, Shiksha, we understand that the proprietor of the school is currently recording statements here at Dagoretti Police Station, though we haven't been able to gather more information, as the DCIO here is a bit adamant on giving us the information. But we are hopeful that after attending to a number of parents we've seen here, whom he has said that parents from that school, he'll be able to give us this information. But earlier on, we were at Kenyatta National Hospital, where as of yesterday they had admitted 69 pupils from the school, but only 2 are currently remaining there because the others were discharged after being treated for soft tissue injuries, head injuries, leg injuries. So we're just camping here hoping that we'll get information in regards to the proprietor, who is currently here recording the statements, and probably will update our viewers in our subsequent bulletins. Shiksha.
Thank you very much, Gloria, for that update from Kabete Police Station, of course, giving us the latest from what exactly is happening with regards to the building that collapsed, that is Precious Talent School, and of course the owner who has been brought into the police station for further questioning. Well, for now, moving on, President Uhuru Kenyatta has asked county governors and other political leaders to support the universal healthcare program to ensure universal access for all Kenyans by 2022. Addressing world leaders at a health forum on the sidelines of the ongoing United Nations General Assembly in New York, the president termed the country's UHC program, now in its 9th month, as a work in progress, saying Kenyans are responding more to healthcare services. The president also urged fellow world leaders to invest more in tackling the deadly effects of climate change. Apollo Kamau has the latest update on President Kenyatta's engagements at the ongoing UN General Assembly.
Mental health conditions.
Tackling the global dilemma of climate change and access to healthcare for all topped the agenda at the ongoing United Nations General Assembly as world leaders shared their experiences and solutions. President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is lobbying for Kenya's non-permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council, termed the country's universal healthcare program, now in its 9th month, as a work in progress with valuable lessons.
Health-seeking behavior has improved. There was a demonstrable increase in health facility visits as well as admissions. This therefore has reaffirmed my government's commitment to soldier on and make further investments in affordable health care. It continues to be a work in progress, and we are inching closer to the leave no one behind, with a special focus on the most vulnerable in our society.
A survey released on Monday by Infotrack showed 42% of Kenyans in the UHC pilot counties are aware of the program, while 82% of Kenyans have endorsed the program as important. The head of state told his fellow leaders that political commitment from governors will make the program a success and achieve health access for all Kenyans by 2022.
This commitment must embody a shared vision of all political leaders and actors, especially in counties with more than one level of government like Kenya. Furthermore, the commitment will only be impactful if translated from a shared vision to collaborative action.
Kenyatta also reminded world leaders on the stakes ahead if climate change is not tackled urgently to secure the future. He cited Kenya's example to tackle climate change by using renewable energy sources like the continent's biggest wind power project in Turkana and the 2 billion trees target by 2022, as well as protecting the oceans while complementing livelihoods.
Our commitment is to tackle climate change, and this runs deep and arises out of our need to secure our future and that of our children, as we all have been victims of drought and declining rainfall, which have destroyed our livelihoods, and many lives have been lost. And all this calls on a need for increasing the requirement of public resources to address emergencies and disasters.
The head of state is scheduled to give his keynote speech before the assembly. Apul Kamau, K24 Newscat.
Now, slain Dutch businessman, the late Top Cohen, will finally be laid to rest this afternoon after his family managed to raise the adequate number of priests to preside over his final send-off rites as required by Jewish tradition. The private ceremony, which will be held at 2 p.m. this afternoon at the Jewish cemetery along Wangari Maathai Road, will be led by Rabbi Jacobs, assisted by 10 priests after being put off yesterday. For an update of events preceding the highly publicized burial ceremony, we're now joined live by our reporter Jasmine, who is at the Jewish cemetery and will be giving us more details with regards to what exactly is happening and, of course, what the plan is for the burial, and maybe she'll be able to elaborate further on the timings as well. Well, good afternoon to you, Jasmine. You are at University of Nairobi Chiromo Funeral Service and, of course, Apala, I beg your pardon, and maybe you can tell us more with regards to when the body will be picked up and, of course, the way forward.
Oh, Shiksha, a slight correction there. The ceremony will not happen at 2 p.m. but 4 p.m. And this is because of a few changes that happened this morning. And yes, it's still scheduled to be at the Jewish cemetery in Nairobi today, where also Sarah Wairimu was expected to be present. And joining us now is the family lawyer, Cohen family lawyer, Cliff Ombeta, who will tell us more about the few changes that have happened and explain what we are expected to see today.
Let me start by saying that the ceremony will be on. We're going to do it at 4 p.m. The body will be leaving this mortuary at about 3 p.m. The brother will be coming to collect the body with a few other friends. Then they can proceed to the cemetery. When the rabbi says that he wants to conduct the mass, or I mean the funeral at 4 p.m., then really there's nothing much we can do. We as the people who are not, actually it's supposed to be a private thing. So they have decided it's 4 p.m., we shall go at 4 p.m. But the rites that are supposed to be performed at the morgue, the rabbis who are supposed to be present came, they have performed their rites, the body has been sealed, it has been put in a holding area for it to be collected at 3 p.m. And all I can say is that I am not certain whether Sarah will be there, but we are expecting her to be there. The order yesterday was for her to have come yesterday. She came. The funeral did not take place. But the order again did not specifically say which date and time. So it is open to interpretation, and most likely it might be interpreted in a way that favors her. So we expect her to be there. I have not been called by my senior Murgor about her not being able to attend or any issues coming up. So we are more likely to see her than not. So she'll be present there.
Can you tell us a little bit about the casket? What have you seen in there?
Usually they use the tillet for the purpose of burial. It's a white bed sheet or white cloth that is used. Let me not call it bed sheet because it's not from a bed, but it's a white cloth that is used to when they are burying the people, that's the Jewish. But they have slightly wanted to accommodate our culture here, so they will use a box. Let's not call it a coffin. They are calling it a box, so we call it a box. It has no markings, it has nothing else. It has only a Star of David drawn by hand in black. And it is of cardboard material, the sealing type of material, or the one you use on partitioning, the very light one of sawdust put together by glue. So for the purpose of it to be able to, say, perhaps consumed by the earth very much more easily than a coffin would be. So it has no designs, it has no nothing, it has no insignias of any kind, just the Star of David and the name. That is all. Yes. Thanks.
So there you have it, Shiksha. That is what we are expected to see later on this afternoon at the Jewish cemetery, and we will be ready to update you more in our subsequent bulletins. Shiksha.
All right, thank you very much, Jasmine, for that update. Of course, we will definitely be getting more information and updating you in our subsequent bulletins. But for now, we have our reporter, Robbie Chacha, on standby, and she is going to be giving us more details with regard to what is happening, where the divorce case pitting former Chief of Staff at the Deputy President's office, that is Marianne Kitani and Meru Senator Mithika Linturi, resumed today, with Kitani introducing witnesses of their matrimonial ceremony held in 2016. So right now, Robbie Chacha will be giving us more details with regard to this court case that has just been in the public eye for quite some time now. Robbie, what is the latest today?
Good afternoon, Shiksha. Yes, today Marianne Kitani introduced a new witness, that is her mother, who says that indeed there was an introduction ceremony on the 26th of 2016 where Linturi, Senator Mithika Linturi, came to their home where the introduction between Marianne Kitani and Senator Linturi happened. And according to the mother, who says that indeed the ceremony happened, she states that there are some things, including a token of 100,000 shillings that were given to the family as dowry, and some foodstuffs which Linturi came with, accompanied by several people, saying that it is not fair for him to say that initially when he stated that there was no introduction. And she continued to state that there is a time that even before the introduction ceremony that Linturi visited their home and brought along a few gifts, where she says that it was not the first time for the introduction ceremony that Linturi visited their home, saying that she actually knows the whole family, including the late Linturi Senior and the mother to Mithika Linturi. And she continues to tell us that there was, after an event that occurred later in during Christmas celebrations that she attended in Meru County, where she again met Senator Linturi, and she states that she is well aware of the relationship between the two that was there. And maybe because of time, there was a adjournment of court, and tomorrow she intends to bring forth other witnesses who will be able to state whether or not the introduction ceremony happened in 2016, and will be able to feed you with all that information. And as of now, the mother to Marianne Kitani stated that indeed there was a ceremony to join the two of them, and she continues to state that even as this continues, it is a total taboo in the Nandi culture for such situations to happen, whereby after two people have been joined, it is a taboo to separate them, whether by court or by culture. Back to you, Shiksha, in studio.
Thank you very much, Robbie, from Milimani Commercial Courts, of course, where she has been giving us more information with regard to the court case that has been ongoing of Meru Senator, that is Mithika Linturi, and his estranged wife, Marianne Kitani. Now, moving on, police in collaboration with judiciary officials have succeeded in destroying a bang worth 15 million shillings as the government intensifies its surveillance against drugs. The narcotic was destroyed after being used as evidence in various court cases, leading to the conviction of the offenders. Georgina Magondu now reports.
Security agencies in Migori County intensified the war against the trade and consumption of illegal drugs after police destroyed bang worth 15.2 million shillings that was confiscated in various parts of the county since the year 2015. Migori County Police Commander Joseph Ndenge, who supervised the exercise, said the consignment, which was part of exhibits in court, was destroyed after the completion of court cases and the conviction of the peddlers.
The fight is still on. We have not stopped the fight, and we will fight it to the last bit. With the help of members of the public, please come out and tell us where we have such consignments, or whoever is transporting will be of great help to us, because when we leave it to go, it goes and destroys other people in other areas. And then we are blamed that we are letting the consignment to pass. So please help us and we get these people who are dealing with these contrabands.
He thanked the public for their cooperation and helping the police in arresting dealers in the illegal business and vowed that security agencies will intensify their crackdown against drug traffickers and consumers of the illegal drugs. Jijina Magondu, K24 Newscut.
All right, now men in Taita Taveta County have raised the red flag against violation of their rights following an increase in cases of women beating their husbands, forcing some men to escape from their homes. Now, the men have decided to hold monthly barazas where they hold sessions with chiefs to discuss their predicament and find possible solutions. Voi Senior Chief Mwangemi, who presided over the session, challenged men to publicly discuss their problems and engage in income-generating activities, which can help fend for their families to avoid confrontations with their spouses. The chief also called for increased attention and support for the boy child to ensure equity in society. Take a look.
Wanaume tumezoea kuja, tunapeana kina mama pesa, wanakwenda wananunulia watoto vitu, wanakwenda wanalipa kama ni school fees. Hata kuna wakati mimi nilikuja nikaulizwa na kijana wangu, kwani niambia nirudi shule haraka, wewe ulilipia pesa?
Kila kijiji bwana chief, naomba kiwe na register, tutambue wazee, alafu tuwazeze kutambua matatizo ya watu binafsi na tu address matatizo. Kama vile chief amesema, mtu hawezi kuchapwa bure. Labda yeye mwenyewe ana upungufu fulani, lakini mwanamume kwa sababu ya kiburi hata sema mimi nilifanya hivi na hivi ndio nikachapwa, atasema nimechapwa bure. Lakini kuna cha mtu anachapwa bure. Kwa hivyo tuanze kutambua na tuanze kuwasaidia hata hawa wazee. Huenda ikawa wana udhaifu kidogo na unyonge, tuwarudishe katika njia, katika hali ya upendo.
Now, Kilifi North MP Owen Baya has accused Tourism Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala of allegedly sidelining the promotion of Malindi town as the preferred tourist destination. Baya said the ministry was deliberately not advertising the holiday resort city on the international stage, despite its traditional appeal, especially for Italian tourists and investors. Speaking in Malindi, Baya claimed the government was investing a lot of money in Mombasa as a domestic tourism destination and vowed to petition Parliament to compel the Ministry of Tourism to allocate adequate funding to market Malindi.
Wafanya domestic marketing ili wale domestic tourists wa hapa Kenya waje hapa Malindi. But Malindi does not depend on domestic tourism. It is not built for domestic tourism only. It is built majorly for international destinations. Among his international destination, it is the responsibility of the national government to start marketing at international level. We want to see Malindi on CNN. We want to see Malindi on BBC. We want to see Malindi in the major Channel 1 on the major channels in the world. It is the responsibility of the national government. They must do their duty for this city called Malindi. Kwa hiyo mimi nitaambia waziri na wizara kwamba while he is busy fighting development, infrastructural development, it's not his business. Achana na Nema wafanye kazi yake. He must concentrate on the job Uhuru Kenyatta gave him to market the coast and to market Malindi as a destination so that we can reap from this that God gave us, this beautiful beach and the beautiful town called Malindi.
And it is believed to be one of the most dangerous assignments on earth, a job where one's safety literally hangs on a wire. And of course, today, Franklin Masharia is going to be bringing us the story of these men who risk their lives in the line of duty. Let's take a look.
It is not for the faint-hearted. Tens of meters off the ground, they toil and moil, risking it all to eke out a living. For these men, no building is too high to clean. As the capital city comes alive, Jerry Ondege prepares for the day in his humble abode in Kawangware. His wife Monica Wangoi, who is always inquisitive, trying to squeeze information about Jerry's latest assignment. a man who wants a living from cleaning window panes of high-rise buildings. It is an occupation that sends chills down her spine every time he walks out of the door.
Yani tu inaogopesha, juu namwambia just kuwa careful. Usitaki kusikia ati maneno ilienda kuenda hivi. So unaambia tu Mungu, we mali ataenda, hata kama atakuwa ni ghorofa ya ngapi, mfunike na damu yako.
Hii ni kitu ya kwanza kuprepare mtu kwa akili. Lazima kwanza awe prepared. So mara ya kwanza ilikuwa ni shida, kwa sababu alikuwa anaogopa, anasema hai, huyu hauwezi kane kwa sababu anytime anaweza kufa.
And after breakfast, Jerry leaves. His next stop is the 21-floor Africa One Place building in Westlands, joining his fellow window cleaners who work under Vertical Heights Company for today's assignment. And like birds, they perch on this skyscraper, a cleaning cloth in hand, a water bucket neatly knotted at their waist as they clean the window panes one at a time.
Nimefanya hii kazi miaka 4 sasa, nikiwa kwa ropes. Hii kazi kwanza watu wengi wanaiogopa. Mimi si wa kwanza kusema ya kwamba siku ya kwanza nikiingia siku ati na ile confident ya kuifanya, but with the time nilianza kuona wenzangu wakifanya, alafu nikaanza kugain ile momentum polepole. Sasa nimekuwa nikitrain polepole.
The cleaners use these special ropes to ensure their safety, descending on the building from its peak, then washing the window panes slowly as they come down.
If you don't concentrate kwa ile kazi unafanya, number one, ufanye tu a silly mistake kwa kamba ama kwa ile equipment zenye uko nazo kwa mwili, wewe umeisha.
Then there is this air sucking equipment which is key to these cleaners to be able to hold themselves on the window panes as they clean. Each member of the team must always be on the lookout in order to ensure that fellow workers are safe.
Nikihang pale juu, I see my family. This is what that imeni motivate, and everything na achieve kwa life naiona from my height risk that nachukua.
It is an assignment that requires courage, one not meant for people who suffer from fear of heights. Many of these team members learned this art through apprenticeship, starting off as assistants using guiding ropes before finally trying out their hand on the cleaning process. It may seem as a daredevil job to many, but for these participants, the most important thing is to have life insurance policy, saying if you don't risk anything, you will never achieve something. Franklin Masharia, K24 TV.
And of course, that's what brings us to a wrap today. Thank you for tuning in to K24 Newscut. I'm Shiksha Arora, joined by our sign language interpreter, who has been Walter Sewe. We'll do this again tomorrow, same time, same place. Until then, don't go anywhere. Coming up next, we have Tony Kalanda with all